And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another edition of Voices from the Grid. I am the White Ranger, Michael, being joined by the Blue Ranger, Brian.
Hey, everybody, what's happening?
We're in Alien Rangers now.
I know. But here's the funny thing. We're back to this, which is funny because this season it's been either group episodes or I've been talking with Sasha or I've been talking with Ben. And granted, last episode, you and I were doing this as well, but I did just want to take a moment to say, I missed you.
No, you didn't.
I missed these one-on-ones.
No, you didn't. Especially the fact that we're doing all three of our episodes back to back to back in one sitting.
I mean,
that curtain's been ripped off. Just like Ben just took the curtain and went yeet street with that thing.
Are you telling me that kayfabe is dead even here?
Yes.
Do
you know how dead kayfabe is for this show? These two episodes that we're going to be doing on this episode are both directed by Bulk himself, Paul Schreier.
Which is kind of cool, actually.
So
he's not a bad director.
Yeah, we are doing Attack of the 60-Foot Bulk. And what are you thinking?
What are you thinking?
So we're going to begin at Attack of the 60-Foot Bulk. Which and it actually worked. Before we get into it, it actually works to have Paul direct these episodes because he's not in them. Like, it's his kid version that's in them.
Yeah.
So it actually worked. Because, so yeah.
Granted, he's not actually in every scene, whatever, but so they could have still done that, but yeah, it helps that he's not like.
Well, I think for somebody who's learning to become a director, it works better to not physically be in the episode and having the director own scenes.
Yes. Now there is a little bit of a secret, but we'll get to that later. Which I thought was brilliant. I thought that was a really well way that they did that. But all right, did you want to take it away or should I?
Yeah, I don't remember. So we began at a water park. This is new. We've never seen a water park here in Angel Grove. When the heck did this get here?
Are those allowed in California?
Yeah, I know.
With all the droughts?
Ooh.
Sorry.
So anyways, Zordon contacts the Alien Rangers to check on their status because they need water a lot. Which then has Rito and Goldar going over the map of the command center. Because they are planning to plant a bomb and trying to destroy the command center. And the fact that this takes like 7 episodes for them to do is pretty bad. That tells you about the competence level of Rito and Goldar, which is so sad because Goldar has so much potential to be like a true baddie. Zed and Rita are spying on young Bulk, and they actually turn Bulk into a monster, which kudos. That's actually smart. Like, why didn't they ever think about turning one of the Rangers' friends into a monster before? Hell, why haven't they ever turned one of the Rangers actually into a monster before?
I mean, didn't they try to do that, but instead they just mind swapped them or made them evil?
No, they just turned him evil with a spell. Like, why didn't they ever turn him into an actual monster?
You're talking why didn't they ever turn into like a giant rubber suit monster?
Yeah, like what they did to Bulk in this one. It's like they turned little Bulk into an actual monster. Like,
all right, you got me there.
Like, why haven't they ever done that?
Which I don't know what the so apparently...
and just for the kicker, the monster is voiced by Paul Schreier,
which is awesome,
which is hilarious.
And I don't know about you, but like I look at this monster and like apparently also the episode that they got this monster from and the footage that they got him from as well, which is called Hello Mushroom Coon, which makes no sense because I don't see how this thing's a mushroom at all. I don't know about you. This is to anybody who's a Kamen Rider fan that listens here. This looks like it belongs in Kamen Rider X-Aid, like because it's got the video game elements like all together, and like his shoes are literally like a D-pad, and then like he's got like an A and B button on there and stuff, and like they don't use that at all. And I was just like, guys, he's a walking controller, he's a walking video game console. Why didn't you do something with that? That'd be amazing.
Yep.
But whatever.
And ironically, the monster that little Bulk gets turned into is called Brat Boy.
Yes.
Which
I guess he looks kind of like
being voiced by Paul Schreier. That's hilarious. I love it. And so as a result of this, as a result of Bulk getting turned into Brat Boy, and well, the Rangers are still kids at this point, except for Billy. Billy still is an adult, but he doesn't have the power morpher.
Because the coins are gone.
Yeah.
At this point,
yeah, the coins are gone. The alien Rangers morph and they actually return to Earth. And then they take on Brat Boy, and Zed makes the Brat Boy grow, which then brings in the Zords. And but the thing is, though, is that they really can't attack Brat Boy, because if they do anything to Brat Boy, they could end up killing Bulk or doing serious harm to Bulk.
It is so, I don't know why, but I keep wanting to call him Brat Boy.
But the thing is, though, is that like again, this brings up my point. Like, yes, doing this to Bulk is the perfect thing. I think it would have been hilarious if they had done it to Bulk as an adult, to see Paul Schreier actually like get turned into a monster. I think it would have been hilarious. But it brings in the whole question of like okay, so like there's the one time they turned a monkey into a monster, and like they're like, oh, we can't attack the monkey, we have to like restrain it and try to break the spell on it and stuff like that. And like it's the same deal here with Bulk. Like, why couldn't it just be like an all-out assault of just Zed and Rita constantly doing that all the time and just really messing with the Rangers that way? Because now you're taking an emotional, mental toll on these guys, because it's like you're attacking them and you're like, it's like, but I don't want to hurt this person, because this is, we don't know, they don't exist anymore this season. We haven't seen them at all. But like that could be Richie that they're having to attack. That could be Curtis, Zach's cousin, that they could be having the fight against.
Oh my God, you're right.
Like,
and I mean, they kind of did this earlier too. That whole episode with and I Ben and I did this, I think, where it was Adam was trying to protect the lantern. I think it's like episode 3, passing the lantern, where he's having a meltdown over possibly destroying a lantern that's been passed down, throughout his family. So it's like, this is a friend of his. This is somebody that it's not just a thing that represents like his family. This is a friend of his that's like living, breathing, walking, talking. This is,
Yeah. But like, and then it comes to my point of like, why couldn't they just capture like a Ranger and then like legit like what they just did to Bulk here, and just turn them into a monster?
Yeah.
And send them off to fight the Rangers. And it like, just the dynamic of that alone would be mind-blowing.
I hope that Simon Bennett's listening, and maybe, he's done something for Dino Fury. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah. There's an idea for you.
Yeah, but
so
but then ultimately, getting back to the episode itself, Bulk sees his friends and it breaks the spell. But then Zed makes Bulk Brat Boy again, which backfires, so they undo it. And then,
by the way, during that scene, you see like he's being shocked or whatever, or like he's devolving from the monster. And you see him start to turn back into a kid, but for that briefest glimpse, like maybe a second, you see Paul Schreier. And he's like, oh, and then like he turns back into the kid version of Bulk. And I think that was done on purpose. That was such a neat little thing that they did. I was like, that's such a cool little cameo. And that's obviously Paul going, let me get in there for a second.
But then after this, Zordon summons the Rangers. He tells the Rangers we'll need to find the Zeo crystals, but Billy can't go. So here you go. This is now the beginning of the Zeo crystals that you and I talked about a couple episodes ago. We talked about it, like it started with Master Vile and the metallic armor where they got the Zeo crystals, they broke them up, they sent them into like 5 different locations. Then Rangers in reverse where they got turned into kids, where we're dealing with this now. And now it's in this part where now we're beginning this journey to get the Zeo crystals back. They're now undoing what they just did a few episodes prior.
Yes. They're basically like, all right, this was an emergency ploy in order to make sure that these didn't fall in the wrong hands, but now we got to go collect them again.
Yeah, but Billy can't go because
he looks so pissed, by the way.
But Billy can't go, and the reason he can't go is because when they did the episode that brought the Alien Rangers back, he was able to undo the spell by Rita and Zed with the Orb of Doom, or Master Vile with the Orb of Doom, and so he's an adult now. And there's only 5 crystals, and there's 5 Rangers who are still children. They're the ones that need to go get it. So they have to be the ones that go on the journey.
And the explanation that's given here, it says, I've wrote here, Billy is the only one not allowed to go on this journey, as the crystals will only respond to the Rangers still affected by the time loop, apparently. Which, like I said, Billy looked so like disappointed and mad by that. Like just hearing that. I felt for him. But by this point, the Zeo quest has officially begun, and we're on our way.
Yeah. Overall, I kind of enjoyed this. I like the dynamic of turning a friend into a monster, and the fact that, like, I mean, they've always used mind control. They never just directly turned somebody into a monster. I thought they should have done that like a long time ago.
That's a really that was a long time coming. Yeah. Just as an aside, by the way, I did love that it was set at a water park, and like you actually get to see the Rangers from Aquitar swimming around there, and like being deceptive. I thought that was kind of cool. It's like way to lean into the gimmick, like do it. But at that point, I believe we're now on What Are You Thinking?
Yes, we're on What Are You Thinking, which is also directed by Paul Schreier. I think it's like the only episodes that he's actually credited as directing. I think everything else he did was like writing or whatever. I have writing or IMDb, but I haven't looked at it in a while. But yeah, so it's What Are You Thinking? It is the first official Zeo Crystal quest, and so we begin with the Rangers heading off to the Rangers head to the spot to begin their Zeo quest. Some weird send off by the Alien Rangers. I'm like it's so weird. They're giving them words of wisdom, which even the words of wisdom sound really weird. And then they just kind of push them into the like, have fun, good luck, or into like the portal thing. It's like, go with grace, push. Like next thing, remember, might as well just Sparta kick me into the portal. I don't care.
Remember, the mind is only as willing as. Remember, the mind is only as willing as the spirit is allowed to be. Yeet.
Push.
So,
what the heck?
Oh my God!
Here? But anyways, so this episode specifically, after we get this really awkward send off by the Alien Rangers, like I want to interview Paul and be like, who the heck came up with the idea for these send-off messages from the Alien Rangers to the kids before they essentially pushed them into this portal? What were the writers thinking? It is so awkward. But
that awkward is the word that best describes the Alien Rangers, because look, they're really nice and they help out, but God, they're weird. And like, I know that that's supposed to be them being quote unquote aliens, but like, I don't know. They start to get into like creeper territory at a certain point for me. I'm like, okay. By the way, can I go ahead and just say real fast what the name of the monster is this episode?
Not yet. We're not there yet.
All right, fine.
I mean, first off, we have to talk about the fact that this episode is Rocky's quest for the Zeo crystal.
Yes, and he just wants to have fun.
Yeah, he just wants to have fun near volcanoes of all places, because the crystal is there's this legend of the crystal of the volcano. So Rocky just wants to have fun at a volcano and just climb on in and have some fun.
Have fun breathing in sulfur dioxide.
But anyways.
Oh boy, that's a lot of fun.
But he befriends a kid, and the kid helps Rocky go find the volcano. As that is happening, Bulk and Skull are in detention, where they probably deserve to be. And they're in detention. I don't remember why they're in detention, but during this time,
they don't give a reason.
Yeah, they don't give a reason. Rito and Goldar look to plant a bomb in the command center, which we talked about the last episode. Because last episode they're looking at the map. Now they're looking to plant the bomb. And at the same time as this is happening, Billy's taking the alien rangers to the aquarium, to which then Bulk and Skull run into the alien rangers because they cut out of detention. This is such a weird timeline right here.
They explain to the teacher that's at the detention center that, like, oh hey, because like they're talking about the alien rangers and how cool they are, trademark, and like I guess like the teacher's like, so you're gonna talk about them during your science project or something, right? And it's like, yeah, no, totally, that's totally what we're gonna do. So let's go to the aquarium. And like, by the way, it just so happens that like they're like, yeah, we'll go to the aquarium and study like aquamarine like wildlife or whatever. And it just so happens, guess where Billy and the alien rangers are at that certain point in time. And so it's almost like there's like, you know, they're writing this stuff or something. And so yeah. And by the way, they like name drop, it's like, who would win in a fight, Captain Kirk or you guys? And I'm like, what?
But,
okay, so Star Trek.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just saying, like, yeah, it's just kind of awkward a little bit.
Yeah. They then also name drop Dracula and Darth Vader. So I'm like, okay, cool. Star Trek and Star Wars exist in this timeline. So whatever universe it is where Power Rangers are a thing, there's still Trekkies and there's still Star Wars fans, and they're still fighting to this day. So that's good to know.
But anyways, these Aquatarians, they keep getting dehydrated way too quickly.
Yeah.
So the Blue Ranger gets attacked by a monster when he is trying to rehydrate, which, you know, brings out, I think, the others at that point. Oh, no. The Blue Ranger gets attacked while trying to rehydrate. But then we cut back to young Rocky, who arrives at the volcano. But then it cuts back to the other Rangers coming to the Blue Ranger's aid, and they call upon the Shogun Zords. To guess what? LOL, they win. It's like John Cena. They just Super Cena the monster.
Which, by the way, this monster's name is Witchblade, which has nothing to do with the Image Comics character, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just Witchblade. I was like, I heard that and I was like, I'm sorry, what? Because I hear the name Witchblade and there's a very specific image that I'm not going to go into detail of that I think of when I think of Witchblade. And I was like, oh man, if they're fighting Witchblade, ooh, okay.
There's
wow. This one's for the adults, everybody.
And then after they defeat the monster, it cuts back to Rocky, and there goes Rocky into the volcano because he just wants to have fun.
Yep.
And he gets the Zeo crystal, and there's a celebration from the townspeople, which feels really awkward. It's like,
yeah,
okay,
almost like they're just like, yay, yeah, go on, and I can go more into this.
And then after the town people celebrates Rocky getting the crystal, Rocky then returns to the command center with the Zeo crystal, thus really ending the episode in that point.
Yeah. Okay. So first things first, and I know that they went into the past for this, which, by the way, you later find out that The kid's name is Pablo De Santos, which is Rocky's grandfather, supposedly. It's hinted at, anyways. I don't know how expansive education was around this time or in this area, but did they learn nothing from Pompeii? Like, the one thing you should know is that if there's a volcano and it's a rumbling, don't build your town near there. That's a bad idea. You're going to have a bad time if you build a town within walking distance of a volcano, okay? But I think the reason that they're celebrating is because once Rocky grabs the Zeo crystal, all of a sudden it's not going to erupt anymore and all the rumbles stop. And I was like, oh, ooh, it's got a lot of power, doesn't it? Okay, cool. Yeah, this was another one of those episodes where, and Ben pointed this out as well. This is another one of those episodes where like the monster just kind of shows up and just gets bodied within like a few minutes. And I think I know why that happens. I know that in Kaku Ranger, they do this thing where they do a lot of onomatopoeia with fighting the monsters in the Japanese footage. And if you don't know what that means, it basically means, have you ever seen Batman 66? Congratulations, you know what I'm talking about, because it's basically the biff, bam, boom, pow, zoink, kind of thing that happens when like the sound effect pops up on screen. They do that in Kaku Ranger, and there's no way that they could naturally use that in Power Rangers. So a lot of that stuff gets cut out, which means that we have a lot of really short fights, unfortunately. What are you going to do? By the time that we're done with this, by the way, there was one thing where they weren't able to summon the Battleborgs this episode, which I think was just because they didn't show up in that episode. And Alpha has there's a throwaway line where it's like, Alpha has de-energized the shield, which was blocking your Battleborgs. You will now be able to summon them next time you need them. And Rocky then shows up with the Zeo Crystal, hoping everyone's okay, and then credits. So Rocky's done with his Zeo quest, and we've got 4 more. Yeah. Oh God, okay, can I talk about one more thing?
Yep.
Where did Goldar get that bucket of popcorn? So okay, let me get this straight. He's trying to Hansel and Gretel his way around the tunnels underneath the command center so he doesn't get lost again. There's an obvious fog machine making it so that he can't see where the popcorn is. The nature of where he got where he got the popcorn is still a pressing question in my mind. But he's got this giant jumbo-sized bucket of popcorn that you get at the movie theater, and he's just like, yes! So he's like throwing popcorn on the ground. And by the time that he circles around and starts following, which I guess he can see it now, but my thing would be like, okay, there's popcorn on the ground. I guess I'm going to crunch around and see where it is, and that way I can follow back just because there's so much fog on the floor. Rito has come up and started eating foggy ground popcorn in this tunnel that like has never been cleaned once. And I'm like, oh, Rito, you gross. You nasty. So does that have anything really to do with the episode at all? No, but God, I wanted to point that out because it was just so dumb. Oh my God.
And as you say that, you can see it in my screen. People can't see it because it's audio only, but you can see the Washington Nationals popcorn bucket.
Oh my God. I hadn't even, oh my God. Wow. Okay.
So full disclosure, this episode's not like airing until like April or May or maybe even June, because I know season 3 started in March, but we're recording this in October. And I got that popcorn bucket literally like, what's today? Today's the 11th. So I got that popcorn bucket literally 11 days ago on October 1st.
Nice.
Well, I wanted it because it's the World Series champions special bucket they got. So, but yeah. Anyways,
one day my team will win a championship.
You've come close.
We almost beat the Red Sox, but anyways, that's a completely different podcast. Brian, I might talk about baseball.
Yeah, forget Power Rangers. We're talking baseball. So
Yep.
let's actually end it on this note.
What's up?
These are the 2 episodes that Paul Schreier directed. How
Yes.
would you rate Paul Schreier's directing in these 2 episodes for somebody who had never really directed before?
I would say that it definitely shows that he was learning a lot on set. I wouldn't and that's the thing too, is because I've worked on, granted it's amateur stuff, but like I've worked on sets before where there have been really incompetent directors, and it just shows in the final product. And I don't see the product of an incompetent director here. I see a really good product. I thought that if this is the first time that Paul Schreier directed a thing, and I think he's gone on direct other stuff, since. Don't quote me on that. I can check though. But as far as his directorial debut goes, not bad. I would give it a solid B. Like if I had to give it like a letter rating, it was really good.
I mean, Attack of the 60-Foot Bulk was obviously his better of the 2, in my opinion.
I love that episode.
It's a good episode.
It's a really good episode.
But what are you thinking? I mean, he also, I don't want to say he did a bad job, because I don't think that's fair to him, because in a way his hands were more tied on this episode, because you had to do the first Zeo quest.
I don't think that he's the one responsible for the Alien Rangers suddenly doing the Aquaman thing with all the fish in the aquarium, because I feel like that was him. Like, wait, really? Are we gonna do the aqua? Oh, God, okay, fine. Like,
but I mean, maybe he had something to do with that. But the thing is, though,
maybe.
But the thing is, though, I think his hands got tied on that one because of the Zeo quest,
right?
And I think that's something that we're gonna have in the next, like, technically 3 episodes, because 2 of them are in 1 episode.
That is true.
So
I think we have 2 more episodes.
Kim and Tommy, because Kim and Tommy are in the same episode.
Yes. They share a Shogun Zord, and they share an episode.
Yes. So but yeah, so that's the thing. I think Paul did great. Attack of the 60-Foot Bulk was obviously the better of the 2, in my opinion, but he still didn't do a bad job with the other one either. So with that, Brian, where can the people find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at OneDrunkGeek. You can also find me on Instagram at Draken22. That's DRAKKEN 22, where I take random snapshots and try and make them all pretty and whatnot, and put a tag. I don't know, whatever. You can also find me on TikTok, because my TikTok's been blowing up. Shut up! My TikTok's actually been blowing up lately. And do you know what's been blowing up on my TikTok? The content that I've been making on my TikTok.
Boo.
It's Power Ranger stuff is what's making me blow up on TikTok.
Boo.
So you can follow me at One Drink Geek. Follow me on One Drink Geek on TikTok. I will absolutely share that. And then also follow me at castwavestudios.com and check out episodes of One Drink Geek and Boldly Going Nowhere, which is, we've been friends of the studio for a very long time, and hopefully we get to collaborate in the future. Mike, where can we find you?
Definitely not TikTok, which is a cesspool of just garbage. I'm sorry, I have no value of like apps like TikTok and Snapchat or any of that garbage. You can find me on Twitter at the Lindenbaum75, which jokingly, that Twitter is a cesspool itself. But that's where everyone is. Facebook at facebook.com/X75 Productions. And of course, Twitch doing the gaming thing at twitch.tv/themichaelx75. And everything is on the web at txhthockey.com/VFTG for the show. And the show's Twitter account is at VFTG_PR. So Brian, with that, take us out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for yet another more phenomenal episode. We had some laughs. It was fantastic. As always, until next time, be sure to grab your power coins and your power movers.
and may the power protect you.